sec to find Final Fantasy. All right. Whew. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Oh man, I didn't even like run off to do my gold saucer things. It's been busy. We can just dive right into it, I suppose. All right, let me find the best angle for an intro. Good morning, everybody. I'm Old Man Sugarheart, and today we're playing Final Fantasy XIV. We just had a hallucination. Somebody popped into everybody with the Echo's head to tell them, like, you can't save the world because everything goes bad if you do. Saving the world destroys the world. So I imagine we're going to go back in time to, I don't know, kill Gandhi. I think that's where the story's going. Maybe take out, like, Mother Teresa. You know, basically wipe out all the best people on the planet. You know, maybe bring a little shadow? What do you think? Orion J agreed to meet us at the Rising Stones. If any of the others heard the voice, we'll find out soon enough. Good luck. I should get back to meeting with the Elder Seed Seer, but if there's anything I can do, anything at all, you just let me know, alright? Promise me. Right, let's be on our way. Ray returned to the Waking Sands. This time it threw us here with a cutscene. That was nice of them.
Orion, God, it's good to see you.
Would that our meeting were under happier circumstances. I judged the voice sufficient cause for concern even before you sent word of its effect on our comrade.
You heard it too, then?
Aye. And all but certainly at the selfsame instant. Alas, pained as I was, I could make little sense of what few words did then reach mine ears.
Who do you think is responsible? Could this be the Ascians doing?
That I cannot say. Not when so little is known. Ere I indulge in speculation, I would examine Thancred with mine own eyes.
To Alamigo, then, without further delay.
Notify the fan artists.
One other thing. During my visit to the Far East, I observed a strange phenomenon.
Thou referrest, I presume, to the localized reduction in etheric density.
Well, that spares me the trouble of an explanation. Yes, I noted precisely that at two apparently unconnected locations. I take it the phenomenon is not limited to the Far East.
Indeed not. Of late, our agents charged with surveilling the beast tribes have spoken of little else. In every corner of the realm, they tell of places in which the ether hath grown thin. Naturally, my suspicions first turned to primal activity, but the areas thus affected betray no evidence of summoning. I must confess to being quite perplexed.
If the same phenomenon is being observed in multiple locations on opposite sides of the world, we may safely discount regional factors. Needless to say, this warrants further investigation.
Indeed, I shall make it my task to... The voice. It calleth to me once more.
Oh, dang. Why not me?
I hear it too.
Only you. Only you.
No! Ishtola! Urianger!
Throw wide the gates.
No! No, this can't be happening! Y'shtola! Urianger! Open your eyes!
Good day, old man. Hope everything is well on my ends. Well, Jay and Ishtola are dead, but for the most part, it's pretty great.
Open your eyes, I beg you! Say something! Anything! Not again. Please, not again.
Alright, so it knocked out those two. Do you think it knocked out a bunch of other people as well? Forgive me. That was an unseemly display. Happened before your very eyes, my lady. None here would have behaved any differently. We have borne the two of them to a private chamber, but tell me, is it true that Master Thancred languishes in a like state in Alamigo? Afraid so. Though given the circumstances, it would seem best to observe them together. I will send word for Lys that he should be brought here. Take heart, my lady. The world is full of scholars and knowledgeable folk of every persuasion. Someone out there is bound to know what ails our comrades and how it may be cured. Thus will we rouse them no matter what. That we will, Hori. That we will. No worries. Pretty sure I know the answer. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I do too. But first things first. Our comrades will have questions. May I ask that you explain the situation to them? Must attend to a private matter. So right now, I imagine we have to talk to the cover art boys, the Warriors of Darkness. Oh, I promised I'd visit someone in Laminsa. He's been waiting at Maelstrom Command for a while now. You know, you should come along too. Think he'd be glad to see you. Alright. Because what the voice describes is, you know, basically the end of the world that happened in the alternate reality in which the Warriors of Darkness came from. Right? And so... where am I going? Maelstrom. And so I imagine they're gonna be like, yeah, what you need to do is talk to, I don't know, somebody and do a thing. How do we get to Maelstrom Command? I mean, like, I could just teleport. But then I wouldn't be able to watch the sunrise. Whoa. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. See, we would have missed this. Possibly. Oh, I heard there was a new sweater for this event that kind of looks like my logo. It would be foolish of me not to get it. But at the same time, I probably won't get it. I'm just so busy all the time. I do love Valentine's Day, though. It's one of my favorite holidays. I like chocolate. I like it a lot. I like sugar and I like hearts. It's really weird. As you probably guessed, it's Ga-Boo we've come to see. I did not guess that, no. The private here will bring him out to us. Ever since the Maelstrom took him in, I tried as often as I can. And after what befell our friends, I was suddenly taken by the urge to visit again. It's difficult to explain. Ga-Boo would be like the young kobold we saved from, like, Titan 8,000 years ago. I forgot he even existed until just now. Ah, he's so cute.
Here he is, my lady.
Ga-Boo, it's been too long.
I'm afraid there's been no change. If he can see or hear us, he has given no sign.
I see. You're still fighting.
Hasn't it been like 15 years?
I'm proud of you. We promised that we would come and visit you together, didn't we? Alphino and I. I'm sorry that we haven't managed that yet. You know, with the three of us like this, does it not remind you of that night? Of the stars beyond count twinkling in the heavens? I was feeling pretty low back then. Powerless. But I knew that my brother was close by if I needed him, and that the others would be waiting for me back at the Rising Stones. Not like now. I've seen my share of trouble since coming to Eorzea. Been reminded again and again of my limitations. of how little I can change about this world. And I've come to know the sorrow of parting all too well. But to have the people I hold dear struck down before my eyes, and be powerless to help them, that I cannot bear.
You still have me. Who needs brothers or friends?
And for that I am grateful. I don't know what I would do without you.
Cry a bunch. Maybe throw up a little.
Well, that's more than enough brooding for one day. Come on. We have friends to save.
Well, good to know Gabu is still something that exists. Let's return to the Rising Stones and take it from there. Thanks for agreeing to come. It meant a lot to me. I'm just so used, like, since I play in the middle of the night when no one else is awake. Like, I'm used to the people finding me out in the field, being people watching the stream. But then I gotta remember, like, in Limsa Lominsa, there's still people. Like, here we got Hazy Wendigo, like, idling. But, like, just being out in the middle of, like, Yangxia, there's nobody, like, there's nobody to see you, basically. And so, like, everyone who sees you is deliberate. So that person, like, walking right at us, I was like, a viewer? No. Just someone playing the game. Did some thinking on the way back. I think Hori is right. We need to seek outside help. Ordinarily, we would turn to our own experts on such matters, but they're both among the stricken. We'll begin by reaching out to the myriad guilds and research institutions here in Eorzea. Additionally, Grandfather and Minfilia had a wealth of connections between them, and I mean to explore those avenues too. We'll find a way to save everyone. Mark my words. Much and more has happened in recent days. Some of it good, some of them not so. But all around me, people will continue their fight. From the shinobi who search for Alpha Noah to the Alliance members who make ready to move against the Empire. They march on the face of great adversity. Bearing heavy burdens, everyone is playing their part. And so must I. You have your own part to play, I know, and it's bigger than most, so I won't keep you. Just promise that you'll visit me from time to time, and I promise I'll have good tidings to share with you when you do. Barrel, barrel, barrel. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
The Populares no longer present an obstacle. Now is the time to bring the Empire's might to bear. A word from your Radiance is all it takes. But one word, and the Imperial army will fall upon Alamigo as a pack of bloodthirsty wolves and tear that feeble nation apart. Have you no words for me? Despite the lengths I go to, an emissary playing the part of a fool. When first I took this face, I swore to use all of my knowledge, all of my power, to further the cause of the Empire. My deeds stand testament to my commitment. And with this adamant flesh at my disposal, I could destroy the Icon Slayer as easily as one might swat a fly. Why do you hesitate? Our enemy is resourceful. Though victory is certain now, it will not remain so indefinitely. Deliberate if you must, but be quick about it. We'll speak again when you have unburdened yourself of doubt. Until then, I take my leave, Father.
I wish I jingled as I walked like that. Maybe I need more keys.
I should be the one to sigh.
It is I who sighs.
I played my part to perfection. I had earned my rest, and then, thanks to La Habrea's crowning act of idiocy, our favorite emissary sees fit to summon me back. Elidibus was ever a warrior. A most tiresome trait, would you not agree? What? Have you no words for me either? No matter. I've long grown weary of this mummery. Now, my dearest grandson, let me remind you of your place in the simplest of terms. You do not make judgments, you administer them. Swiftly and to the letter. Naught else is your concern. Elidibus may be an insufferable bore, but he is no fool. His choices as emissary seldom err.
The guard on the left there, it's his first day, and he's just like, what the hell is going on?
If aught threatens the balance twixt light and dark, it falls to you to remove it. Be it by your own hands or by your armies, you have ample means at your disposal. That is why this empire exists, why I built it! Oh dear, have I touched a nerve? You always were an easy one to read.
Welcome in, Kenshin. Thank you so much for the raid. Hi, everybody. I'm Old Man Sugarheart. Today we're playing Final Fantasy XIV. We're getting close to Shadowbringers. And, I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. We're all hearing voices. The Empire's having a lot of infighting. I'll try not to spoil much for anybody who doesn't want it spoiled, but it's exciting times.
I pity you, I do. As they say, ignorance is bliss. And I know how much happier you would be not knowing the things you know. The Founding Father was an Ascian, and he created the Empire solely for the purpose of sowing the seeds of chaos.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. I merely do my duty. To bring about a calamity requires no small amount of power, and there is no surer way to obtain such power than by collecting powerful pawns. To that end, I have labored long and hard, and I must say I am quite pleased with my handiwork, paltry though it seems in comparison to Alag.
What?
You fiends are overfond of your own voices. Mark me, Ascian. Man is the master of his own destiny.
Pretty sure they're immortal. Isn't he just gonna get right back up?
Such a waste of time and energy. Both yours and mine.
Shoot him again.
Lest you forget you are Emperor now. If you wish to spout drivel about man's destiny, save it for the masses. It will serve to give them a sense of purpose, and you, pliant pieces for the game.
Just shoot him again.
Oh, do stop sulking, boy. You, of all people, should understand. Ours is a struggle to restore both mankind and the world to their rightful state. Viewed thus, our goals are one and the same.
How many times can you kill him before he gets, like, super annoyed? Like, it seems like a good way to troll. Meanwhile, at the Resistance encampment somewhere in the Empire. I didn't picture the Empire being this green. What in the world? Dead. All dead, yet I see no wounds nor any evidence of battle. Are you sure this is their colony? Sorry, forgot the word for it. Yeah. So it did say it's in the Empire. But yeah, for some reason I just kind of pictured it in kind of more Harkonnen like black and evil kind of place. But no, it's just like a lovely camp on the outskirts of somewhere. Damn them. They finally used it. The Empire developed an alchemical weapon in Garabanya gas. Black Rose, it was called. And to breathe it is to breathe your last. And that did this? I thought the project abandoned and its vile fruit destroyed, but naught else could have wrought such an atrocity. Fools! What do they hope to gain with this butchery? Can they not see that a rule won through terror will not endure? How many more provinces will they lose? Food and lurk time. Have a good stream. Have a good food and lurk time, Kenshin. I really do appreciate it every time you pop in. Hey, wait. This is not the work of men, but monsters. The Asians. It cannot be a coincidence that their trail led us here. Their objective was never to rule, but to sow strife and discord. Such a crime does indeed bear the mark of the bringers of chaos. Black Rose cannot be allowed to kill again. We must find the Asians and put an end to their plot. Yeah. Obviously that. You gave him a look like, are you for real? Yes. We do want to stop them from doing terrorist things. Obviously. Ooh, this quest, right? Soul searching.
I'm glad you've come, though I'm afraid there's little in the way of good news. After you left, we reached out to both the Alchemists Guild and Stillglade Fane and attempted all manner of treatments. But the results were always the same. Whatever the answer is, it's not alchemy or conjuring. Why did it have to be Y'shtola and Urianger and not me? Out of all of us, they are the ones who could feasibly have solved this puzzle. And Elfano's still missing. Gods, it's all going wrong. Where do we even start?
I'm trying to remember what happened to the Warriors of Darkness. I feel like they're also able to solve this mystery. I think the last thing they did was like meet Minfilia Hydaelyn. And like, I don't know, did they get evaporated or sent back to their own world or something?
A grave situation indeed. Might I be of some assistance?
Cryle! I did not think you well enough to travel.
When word reached me of the plight of our friends, I could not well stay away. As a fellow scion, not to mention your erstwhile mentor, this is one of those times you should feel free to call on me, regardless of my personal circumstances.
Do I want an answer to that question? No, it's fine. It will all be made clear. It's just like, right now, I'm excited that there's a mystery to solve. Like, it's fine. If you spoil anything in chat, like, I won't be mad. I just won't, like, read it out loud for the viewers at home.
Yes, I should have thought of that.
But yeah, really, I'm just thinking out loud.
Thank you for coming, Cryle. We would welcome your insight.
And I should be happy to provide it. Now, What's this I hear about Alphino heading into Imperial territory? That boy always did have some funny ideas. Do you remember the speech he gave when he was accepted to the Studium?
My life's goal is naught less than the salvation of this star.
That particular grand pronouncement has been a source of great embarrassment to him, as you know. But the fact of the matter is, he meant every word and has lived his life accordingly.
Yes, he remains altruistic to a fault. But I'm worried he was too fixated on his goals to see the dangers, as has happened before.
You know, several streamers that like to say out loud questions but don't actually want chat to tell them, so you were just making sure. That's, yeah, that's fair. When I became a streamer, I gave up on the fact that, like, it's impossible to not get things spoiled for you occasionally. And so, like, people get excited and they want to answer these things. And that's fine. Like, I'm not going to hold it against them. They just want to, like, experience this thing with you, and they want to tell you everything they know. They get excited. And so, like, I don't get mad at either backseaters or spoilers. Like, backseaters are different than spoilers, but it's always amusing when somebody pops in and tells you how to play a game, and then you don't do that. They get a lot of them get a bad case of the feely wheelies. That's always very entertaining.
You needn't be so concerned. Though his values remain the same, Alphino is not the blinkered boy he once was. Slowly but surely his eyes have been opened, thanks to a certain someone. A certain someone whom he'd be mortified to learn had heard about his little speech. Mum's the word, eh?
Okay.
Right, I'd better have a look at our patients. They're in the infirmary, I assume. I'll need absolute quiet, so it would be best if I did this alone. If you'll excuse me.
Go collect these chests that you won't need in a few days during Dune. Yeah, I remember that guy. Like, he just did not understand that my goal was different. He was like...
They're in fine physical health. At a glance, I would say they were merely sound asleep.
Like, for some reason, he just didn't grasp that, like, somebody would play a game and not want to, like, 100% it. Because he was, like, leading me back to, like, tier 1 goods. He's like, you need these boots. They're made of copper. They're over here in this chest and over here. Go to this chest. And I'm just like, these are actually useful to, like, playing the game. Or useless to playing the game. That was fun times.
Except for the fact that I couldn't sense the slightest trace of them in their bodies. It's as if their souls have taken leave of their physical forms.
Ah, yes. The Elder Seedseer made a similar observation.
I've read the report. When you heard this mysterious voice, you described feeling as if you were somewhere else, yes?
Having nostalgia hearing the music. You think it was the early start of COVID when I'm at this part of the quest? Wow. Like, part of me is like, wow, that wasn't too long ago. It's weird to think, like, COVID was 6 years ago. Feels like only yesterday.
The ether which comprises your essence is being drawn to some other place. Then it may be possible to follow the trail it leaves behind, just as we did in our search for Thancred.
I wasn't around for that, but I can't imagine it was easy.
Oh, it wasn't. But that's no reason not to try. I will have need of Master Matoya's crystal eye if I'm even to make the attempt. So I suggest we pay her a visit.
Man, that wide arm swing, Lalafell hustle. Aren't they just cute? It's so cute, right? Speaking of nostalgic music, Matoya is probably like my favorite song from like my childhood. When I say my childhood, obviously I mean like Final Fantasy XIV. It was much longer away than that. Is Idleshire the closest? Oof. But yeah, I used to play Final Fantasy 1 a lot in my youth. And Matoya was always the best song. And to like add to the nostalgia, Matoya looks exactly like my mother in this game. They both lead to the hinterlands, but I think this is the direction that leads to Matoya. I don't think anyone ever goes left out that door. Yeah. For a second there, like there's a ton of really good games that are coming out right now, so I decided against it. But I kind of wanted to play that weird Final Fantasy spin-off game. Stranger in... I want to say like Stranger in Paradise. That's not it. It's the same zone, just slightly different parts. Yeah. But like, why would anybody ever go over here? Like, it seems like there's really nothing of value here. Outer than words, maybe there's a dungeon. Seems like there's a chocobo. I haven't had any like story reason to like go back there. Like there's a lot of cool stuff happening over there. Look, there's a big bubble. Mr. Hart, how goes the session? It's going pretty good. Feels like a continuation of all the cutscenes we were seeing last stream. Like, I think there's a good chance I won't use any combat abilities today. I'll have to relearn how to play a ninja next week. Alright. Now Matoya's down in the Matoya hole. You just spent the last 12 hours decorating the Alt's FC house. You're done. Oof. All that socializing. But of all the games to never mind, I'm dying. I can't think. Give me a sec. You're currently on Star Sand Island, getting sucked into the best crafting you've had in a game in a long time. Yeah. Star Sand Island looks like it's going to be a really fun game. We've only played 2 hours, and I'm excited to play it like all next week. If you need a hand with any dungeon runs, though, you can pop in on your main. I can solo any of the dungeons, and I plan to. And I think we're out of trials for the rest of Stormblood. So nah, just sit tight and relax. Heard Master Matoya was something of a recluse, but this seems extreme. Still, I'll happily overlook her eccentricities if she agrees to help us. Fat Chocobo favorite mount of yours? It's the favorite one I've encountered so far. I'm a big fan of the turtle from the Golden Saucer.
My piece again, have you? I hide myself away in a cave, and still you people insist on pestering me with your problems. Oh, I mistook you for young what's-his-name, but I see now you're the sister. Weren't you supposed to be the lively one? I've seen happier faces at a rain-sodden burial.
She really does look exactly like my mom.
Well, I'm sorry to dash your expectations, but the situation isn't exactly conducive to gaiety.
That's how you spell gaiety?
Ha! That's more like it. Stoller used to spit and hiss like a wildcat too. Better for a young thing like you to be filled with fire and leave the doom and gloom to your elders.
She's really gatekeeping sadness, isn't she?
Now, what exactly does this tragic situation of yours have to do with me?
If I may, Master Matoya, we have need of your crystal eye once more.
And Stoller is one of the afflicted, is she? Very well. She may be an ungrateful stray, but she's my ungrateful stray, and I'll not see her buried before I am.
Oh, she does care. The Alexander boss has good fight music. If you want to hear the boss fight, it is also fun. I've probably heard it. I've heard most of the fight music in this game.
Let us see what we can see.
It's because this game's got a killer soundtrack. You love that old woman? Me too.
I'll begin from where our friends first fell, and cast my senses out from there.
What is it? Did you find them?
This doesn't make sense. How is it even possible?
How is what possible? Kryl, what did you see?
The threads, they just ended. And no, I didn't lose track of them. I followed them as far as they went. It's as if they were cut off.
Could their ether have dissipated if it had? Oh gods! Their bodies are just husks. It's like the broodmother's daughter all over again.
No, this is different. The Kalyana girl was already dead, body and soul, when Lakshmi effected her resurrection.
Aye, let's not jump to conclusions. If their physical forms yet breathe and show no signs of wasting, then it follows that their souls must still be intact somewhere.
But where?
That's the question, isn't it, girl? Death has not taken them to the ethereal sea, yet there are no tracks left for us to follow.
Huh. They've been soul napped.
We're no closer to an answer than when we started. But knowing their souls are still out there is progress of a sort. We just have to keep looking. Pray, excuse me a moment. Yes? I remember, but... What, to Alamigo? We're on our way. That was Lee's. Apparently, a group of Populares have defected to Alamigo, and Maxima, the envoy Alphino left with, is one of them.
Dang.
I'm sorry. I realize we've barely begun here, but...
Go, child, go! You've made up your mind, and life's too short for dithering.
I'll do some digging in the meantime and see if there isn't some other method we could use to continue the search.
Let's be off then.
Did one of the brooms want to talk backwards?
Oh, not again. The enchantment barely seems to take these days. I chalk it up to old age, but I rather doubt it's that simple.
Before they took ill, Y'shtola and Urianger were sharing notes on a thinning of the ether. It seems to be happening all over.
Does it now? And here I was, all set to blame my woes on that creaking mountain of refuse clogging up the Thaliac. I fear something has gone awry. Still, there's naught to be gained from starting in shadows. You can only do what can be done, and that but one thing at a time.
So all the ether is disappearing from various points all over. It's like it's getting sucked up for use in a calamity of some kind. So that was the woman who tamed Y'shtola. I have a distinct feeling of being grabbed by the scruff of the neck and having the nonsense shaken out of me. When Alphino is back, I'd like to visit her again and ask her what tale she has of grandfather. Get that current. What, this current? This one right here? Ah, what a lovely current it is. I almost can't bear to hear what Maxima has to tell us. It can't be bad news, can it? Least would have said. Unless, there's no point in speculating. Least said she'd notified the guards of our coming, so we should head straight to the palace gate in the Alamigan quarter. I'll be praying for good news. Learn what you can of Alphino's plight, and leave the search to our friend's lost souls to me. Alright, so currents. Aren't they pretty? Where are we going? Alamegan Quarter? So I've got like a pretty good reason for not grabbing the currents. And that reason is $30, more or less. So like if I write a guide on YouTube, they do well, and like they keep getting views and I keep getting ad revenue off of them. And so like I'm always kind of like keeping an eye out for like what I can do, even if it's already been done before. Like it's still a good idea to like try it yourself and do your best. And so like part of me wants to make a guide for like where to get all the aether currents, like that one. And so like I'm deliberately not picking them up in case like at some point I find the time to say like, oh, here are all the aether currents in Heaven's Ward. Here's all the aether currents in Stormblood. And like if I make the guide quick and simple, and I don't do anything too crazy, it'll work. And honestly, like it's good for the stream, and if for no other reason, like I'll get $30 out of it. But not just $30, it's like a slow trickle of money in for long periods of time. Like if you do enough guides and the games stay relevant, which Final Fantasy XIV is really good at doing, then like you could be making pennies a day for many days. Anyway, boop. Greetings, Scions. The commander told me to expect you. Shall I show you in?
I'm sorry to drag you halfway across the realm, but when Maxima mentioned Alphino, I thought you'd want to hear the news in person.
Ah, we meet again. Though I was hoping our reunion would be under more auspicious circumstances.
What happened to my brother? Where is Alphino?
Never fear, my lady. Your brother was in fine health when I took my leave of him, and I have no reason to assume that has changed.
You assume?
If you will allow me, I shall endeavor to explain events. Our troubles began not long after we departed Doma. While crossing the burn, we were fired upon by the Emperor's personal guard and forced to make an emergency landing. As we stumbled from the wreckage, our attackers fell upon us again, and we would have perished there and then were it not for the intercession of a third party, a band of mercenaries whose leader claimed to pursue a vendetta against the Ascians. This Shadow Hunter, as he styled himself, then escorted us out of the wastes to relative safety. Upon arriving back in civilization, I gathered my Populares colleagues and prepared to flee the Empire. Master Alphino, however, declined the invitation to join us, preferring to continue his investigation into the Ascian threat.
Well, at least he's not lying in a heap in the burn. Tell us more about these Ascian hunters. Who are they? And is Alphino still with them?
He is. As to who they are, I'm afraid I have nothing to tell you. Beyond the fact that they root out and destroy Ascians, they were unwilling to divulge anything which might serve to identify them. They would not even reveal their next destination. But Master Alphino asked to accompany them all the same. Since parting company with your brother, we've been engaged in a game of cat and mouse with the Emperor's Guard. We made our way through province after province, finding the army busy restoring order wherever we went, until we finally arrived here in Alamigo. I cannot thank Commander Aldin enough for giving us such an unexpectedly warm welcome.
I need to, like, look at a continental map of Eorzea again, because, did this guy just walk here? How did he get here?
I'm not inclined to turn away refugees, no matter which land they call home. And if they can tell me how things lie in Garlemald, all the better.
On that subject, there is much I would tell you. During the course of our journey, we heard tales that an entire rebel army had been slaughtered in the space of a single night. It would seem my former comrades grew tired of putting down uprisings in the conventional manner, and chose instead to bring a formidable new weapon to bear. Details were sparse, but the rumor alone was enough to dampen the flames of rebellion. I have also heard reports that several companies have withdrawn from their designated provinces and begun marching westward. It is my assessment that the Empire's forces are mobilizing for a large-scale military engagement.
Westward? You mean they're getting ready to invade Alamigo?
We knew this was coming, but not that it would be so soon.
We've barely even begun to shore up our defenses. They won't stop an invading army.
No, they won't.
Not to mention how many days or weeks it would take them to travel where they were to here, right? Like, they walk through the burn. Like, if they head west, they're heading towards the Empire. So, like, they must have headed east and taken a boat from Kugane. But, you know, it's kind of hard to do that as an empire. How did they do it? Doma's not a friend to, you know, people who look like them.
Dispatch messengers to the Alliance leadership requesting reinforcements, and send word to our officers in the field to hasten completion of those border fortifications. Prepare to meet the Imperials head on! No matter how quickly we act, we still want for time. When the enemy comes into view, our best recourse will be to open negotiations with their commander, and see that the ensuing proceedings take as long as possible.
Would you and Alize head to Doma and let Lord Hien know about this? I'm sure he'll want to hear about Alphino too.
Consider it done. We'll send word when...
Oh, we're doing this again.
Untold sorrow must be changed. Ahead looms a calamity. Eon become instant. Throw wide the gates.
You really got to be more specific on the gates.
You heard it too.
Like, why the voice gotta be deliberately vague? You can just be like, you know the gates to Thanalan? Head west on Main Street, turn right on 43rd. You'll find some gates there, throw those open.
Well, at least we're both still standing.
Oh, thank the gods. I thought we'd lost you for a moment there. Why does this keep happening?
I wish I knew. Nothing we've tried has brought us any closer to an answer. We'll keep working on it. But first, we need to go and see Lord Hien.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, the owner of the voice is going to get revealed at some point. And, like, my first question is, like, why? Why not give better directions? They're going to be like, oh, I could only say a few words, but, like... why'd that bird come hang out with us? That's kind of cute. Also, one thing you always wonder is, how does the crystal, the teleport crystal work in their world? And how far the range is also. Can everyone use it or not? So Alphino is safe for the present at least. Now, all we need to worry about is a full-scale Imperial invasion. I'm actually glad Lise tasked us with visiting Lord Hien. Better to be dashing from place to place than sitting around stewing over things we can't change. To the Enclave. I find, like, travel is, like, the worst thing you can do if you're trying to avoid stewing. Like, what are you gonna do on, like, the flight? Well, never mind. I guess there's no flight here. Speak with Hien. That's gonna be the Dome and Enclave. Everyone can use it if they attune to the crystals. It does make sense. And speaking of more nostalgic music, Cyan, or Kien's theme from Final Fantasy VI. Still the best Final Fantasy. I really wish, like, they'd get a good remake. I see you have tidings for Lord Hien. May I show you in? Speaking of which, I think I'm probably going to play the complete Final Fantasy VII trilogy at some point. I'm wondering when I should start that. You'll need to do the Crystal Tower Alliance raids before Shadowbringers for the Mysterious Voices storyline to be fully fleshed out. I'll say no more, but you'll be glad you did if you decide to do it. The good news is, I have already done it. It was mandatory at the end of Heavensward now. Or at the end of A Realm Reborn. They make you do it. Yeah. The new one? Is there a new Crystal Tower? Oh no, like the new Final Fantasy VII. The new Final Fantasy VII. Like remake, interrograde, retrograde. I don't know. I can never keep the order straight. Like I Google it every now and then. I'm like, which one comes first? Greetings, my friends. I was discussing future endeavors with the members of our newly formed alliance. And for anyone watching at home who wants to, like, remind themselves what Crystal Towers was like, if you figure out what, like, the quest names were, like, all my videos are titled after the quest names. And so you can easily go back and see the Crystal Towers if you like. The Kojin and the Confederacy, you already know. Did I forget to read out loud? Might have. I'm sorry. The Kojin and the Confederacy, you already know, and it was your own strength at arms that won us the cooperation of the Steppe tribes. We've also been joined by the neighbors from Naxia and the indomitable citizens of Dalmasca, though the scattered nature of the latter's resistance will somewhat delay their official induction. These proud people have united under a single purpose to stand against the tyranny of the Empire. I'm glad to see your alliance is coming together so swiftly. As things stand, I fear we shall soon have need of your strength. I thank you for bringing me news of Alphino. His fate is never far from my thoughts. And not only because he is our emissary, but as for this sudden deployment of Imperial forces, I agree that Alamigo would be wise to shore up its borders with all haste. The report we've received from our shinobi indicates a massing of troops in the western provinces. It seems all but certain the Empire is poised to bring its fist down upon Eorzea. And I would help deflect that bow, but I cannot risk sending reinforcements just yet. We'll remain vulnerable to airborne assault until our wall in the burn is in place. The all-important Allegan energy barrier. The energy barrier, yes. I thought to call it something more auspicious. A name drawn from the four lords of legend, perhaps. Sirius Aegis or some such. Well, just a thought. The Ironworks engineers report that they have finished calibrating the generators and are ready to proceed to the testing stage. Have you time to attend the first test? You'll see the field which projected Azizla firsthand. And I would be interested to hear how you think ours compares. Or you witnessed it, not you'll witness. I will come too if you don't mind. Though I'm no Ishtola, I may be able to offer some insight. Of course, time being of the essence, it would be best if we made directly for the burn. Yugiri, I leave you and Hakuro to bring the war console to a close. Understood. Your mounts are saddled and ready, my lord. Ready to wear the swarms. Give me money. Hi, kitty. You want to hop on over here? Say hi to everybody? Give him a good meow. Loud meow. Speak up, meow. He refuses, but he knows it's almost breakfast time. Speaking of time, I got 45 minutes. I can keep going. We will cross the burn by Yol and Falcon. As before, join me at the overlook near the House of the Fierce. I mean, it feels kind of obvious to me. If you want to stop the Alamegan troubles, what you do is you poke them from the east. Like, they're amassing forces on, like, their western border. They leave the other side exposed. You give it a, like, little poke and they're forced to, like, thin their reinforcements and redistribute them a little bit. Right? Near the House of the Fierce. I can do that. Maybe they need like a Sun Tzu type Pokemon, like... Like, again, I think I need to see, like, the continent map, because how... If the Empire really is separated by the burn, it makes sense, like, how easily it was to take back Doma. Easy, I say. but it would also be really difficult to poke the Empire from the east. But like, does the burn cover the entire distance? How do we poke the Empire? Give the word when you are ready to take wing. Not that easy. Need to gather intel. First see where their army, navy, and their base and what defenses they have. I was just gonna attack like a local settlement.
It seems the engineers have matters well in hand. Should the barrier work as we intend, Doma will be free to reinforce her allies in Alamigo without fear of weakening her own borders. Honored friends, the time has come to put your hard work to the test. Start the generator.
Like, I was thinking, you know, are we the baddies kind of level of military invasion to the east? You know, steal all their crops, whatnot. Maybe not like burn it to the ground, but, you know, burn it to the ground. Raise their fields. Nothing stops an army like famine. And I can't imagine they have tons of fertile land. Do they?
Node 1 is operational. Nodes 2 to 8 are reporting similar energy levels. The barrier is forming. $1,000 yards, 2,000, 3,000. Expansion remains smooth. No fluctuations detected. $4,000, 5,000. Target altitude reached. The barrier is holding steady at 5,000 yards. We've done it.
Is that an Imperial airship? Of all the rotten timing.
Isn't this the best timing?
But this is a gift, Mistress Alize. They can test our new wall for us. Seems solid enough, though I was hoping for a fireball.
Is this Alphino on the other side of the wall? Oh my god, it's Alphino on the other side of the wall.
By the gods, it's Alphino. What are you? Let me go! He has my brother!
Lower the barrier!
Be at ease, girl. The lad is not dead, merely locked in slumber.
No, not him too.
Now things get interesting. Things have been interesting.
We could identify no cause and found no remedy. Thus I sought to return him to Doma, and into the arms of Lord Hien himself, it would seem. It is a day for fated reunions. Would you not agree, adventurer? Or should I address you as the Warrior of Light?
Most people call me old. What will I say? Gaius Van Balsar. Black Wolf. I mean, like, this is the only name that I remember. Who was the Black Wolf?
I, Gaius Van Balsar, the Black Wolf.
Okay.
That was the title I was given. One I have long since relinquished.
This is what you look at like without a stupid hat?
Stand down. The legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion died in Castrum Meridianum. I am no more than Gaius Balsar, a man without rank or allegiance.
Impossible. There's no way you could have survived.
Such devastation.
Do you remember how it unfolded? How I was deceived by La Habrea? How I was convinced that reviving the Ultima weapon would allow me to bring peace to Eorzea? The Ascian used me, as he used so many others, all to further the restoration of his wretched god. Yet even with the might of Alec at my command, you bested me. And as the Praetorium went up in flames, I was content to burn along with it. For a moment at least. A moment of folly. To surrender my life thus would have been to betray all who died for my cause. It was for them that I dragged myself free of the rubble, and swore vengeance on the Ascians. The Black Wolf has shed his pelt, never to return to Garlemald or her legions. I live now only to exact revenge.
Neat.
My principal quarry was to be La Habrea, whom I gather you have since ushered onto oblivion.
Yeah.
But so many more remain. Long as their kind lurked in the shadows, laboring to sow chaos throughout our world, I would see each and every one dragged into the light and put to the sword. Are the Scions not of like mind?
In this single respect, perhaps.
Then I shall continue the partnership the boy began, and share what intelligence I have acquired.
By the way, how long will I be streaming today? Another half hour, give or take.
Among the Ascians, the Black-Masked Ilk are subordinate to those who wear red. This you already know.
Although, I am bad at stopping, so it might be like 45 minutes.
Yet among the red there exists a hierarchy. Those set adrift with the shards clearly stand below those still joined to the source. Nabriales, who once dared to intrude upon the Rising Stones, belonged to the former group, and while he was indeed a dangerous foe, his powers were inconsequential next to the paragons of the Source. The first was La Habrea, who plagues us no more. There is also the white-robed Elidibus, and the elusive Emmet Selk, about whom little is known.
We have files on La Habrea and Elidibus. But I believe this Emmett Selk is new to us?
Yeah. Think.
As I assume my brother told you, we have evidence to suggest that an Ascian now walks in the body of the Crown Prince. Have you identified this interloper?
Elidibus seems the most likely culprit. As emissary, it is his role to maintain the equilibrium between darkness and light. Your many deeds in Hydaelyn's name have upset the balance, and I believe he seeks to restore it by throwing his considerable power behind the Empire. As a leader of the Ascians, he is one of our primary targets. It was on the trail of this very prey that the boy and I came across the scene of a failed uprising. In the absence of a single Garlean casualty, we inspected the bodies of the rebels, and the lack of any external injury drew my immediate attention. They had been slain by Black Rose, an alchemical invention of the Imperial Army. When I yet served as legatus, I ordered its production halted, and all stockpiles destroyed. Toxic gas is not a tool of conquest, but of extermination.
Toxic gas? This must be the new weapon Maxima warned us about. Something deadly enough to sweep away all resistance in a matter of hours. Gods. You don't think they're planning to use this in Alamigo, do you?
Put your fears to rest. We infiltrated the production facility and destroyed all existing stores of the chemical along with the plant itself. Even should they rebuild the operation, they will not soon manufacture another batch. Regardless, I would draw your attention to a directive we discovered in the plant's records. The document was marked with a recent date and authorized with the signature of one Zeno Ciegalvus.
A dead man signing the death warrant for thousands. 'Tis bad comedy.
But the tale does not end there. Within that same facility was a chamber filled with devices of elegant design. Cloning technology, we realized. And what should we find in each and every incubator? But a young Emperor Solus.
Oh. Well, that does imply, like, he's limited. I thought he was an Ascian and therefore, like, immortal in that regard, but really there's just a bunch of them? I actually kind of thought he was going to be Emmett Selk.
All of which prompts the question, were the Ascians responsible for these abominations, or was it the will of the Emperor? I must know which hand guides the Empire. Though I have given up my rank, I am yet a son of Garlemald, and I will fight for the future of my homeland. It is time I return to the hunting of shadows. We should focus on our common foe. To reopen old quarrels now would serve no purpose.
Yeah, see you in daily roulettes.
You saved my brother's life, so I'm willing to let sleeping dogs lie. But in truth, it's not my decision to make.
As you're still the bad guy. Your homeland sucks, boo, guys. No, I mean, like, aside from like the daily roulettes, I haven't seen him. You're right. There are more important matters at hand. Let's be best friends.
There was a time when I scorned those who placed their faith in false gods, even as I, in my blinkered conviction, place mine in Ascian promises.
Blinkered conviction. I want to use that at work.
Unlike yours, my strength of will and my restraint was found wanting. We shall meet again, warrior of light.
That Gaius is a good guy, but he still needs to be choked out for working with the evil
that was the
empire.
infamous Black Wolf. An unexpected ally, to say the least.
Yeah, true that. You want to choke him out a little bit? It would please the viewers.
Well, I am content to leave the fine-tuning of the barrier to cleverer minds. Let us bid our friends from the Ironworks farewell, and see what can be done for Alphino back in Dorma.
What fortuitous timing, too. Like, what are the odds? Like, we're right here. Like, if he was a minute later, Alphino would be stuck. Also, Alphino's unconscious, huh? Was it really explained? Feel like it wasn't. Like, you know, we're kind of assuming he was knocked out by the voice. But what if he's unconscious for other reasons? Alphino is safely ensconced in my private chamber. My finest healer is examining him as we speak. Ah, here he is. Nope. I've spoken with the physician, and there are no outward signs of illness. Alphino is lost in the sleep from which he cannot be awoken, just like the others. It seems that even the lands of the Empire were not far enough away to escape that cursed voice. I share your frustration, Alice. I do, but Alphino has returned to us alive and otherwise unharmed. All that remains is this kitty whose claws are in my pants. All that remains is to find the means to wake him. Kitty, hang on. Stop running away. Kitty. There. Ow. Ugh. You ass. Like, he gets his claws stuck in my leg, and then, like, I'm trying to help him, and he's, like, pulling away as hard as he can. Just a wonderful cat. Classic cat. Until then, you can fulfill your duties as Scion, yours and your brother's both. Right, of course. These arrangements to be made, and there are arrangements to be made, and little time to make them. To the business, then, my lord. Now that we know Sarius Wall works as intended, can we expect reinforcements for Alamigo? You most certainly can. As promised, we will send troops to bolster our allies in Eorzea without delay. Pray be aware, however, that they will not arrive without delay, save for some few who boast teleportation magic. The bulk of our force must be transported by sea, a lengthy voyage for which the smaller vessels favored by the Confederacy are ill-equipped. Accordingly, I mean to enlist the assistance of the East Aldernard Trading Company in finding suitable ships. As for navigating distance in question, we are in the happy position of being able to call upon those who plotted the course of my people's exodus to Eorzea. Hi, kitty. You really, really want breakfast, don't you? Beyond the procurement of ships, I think it unlikely that our Eastern Aldernard friends will consent to any involvement in military operations, but I am certain that they will afford Alphino a berth aboard one of their vessels. I shall have a chirurgeon. A chirurgeon. Is that how it's pronounced? I keep forgetting. Accompany him every ilm of the way to the Rising Stones. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. Ugiri and I will go on ahead with our friends to Alamigo, enlist all those capable of teleportation, and put them at the disposal of the Eorzean Alliance as soon as possible. They will form the vanguard. Yes, my lord. This is exactly what we hoped for. Lys and the Alliance leaders will be glad indeed to welcome the combined strength of the East. Meanwhile, at the Black Rose chemical plant,
Our supplies at Black Rose have been ruined, but the new plant is already under construction. We should have the first batch ready in time for the offensive, Your Radiance.
yeah, I was wondering about
See
that.
that you do.
Ah, yes, the infamous Black Rose. If I recall correctly, Gaius did not much care for the invention. A ruthless and indiscriminate weapon indeed, this airborne poison. It seems you are capable of making decisions worthy of your bloodline.
They were like, we ruined the facility and it won't be ready in time. And I'm like, what if they have another facility? How hard could it be to repair this one?
With no gift for sorcery, we Garleans must look to Magitech to even the odds. If it spares the needless deaths of our soldiers and serves the cause of this empire, there is no method I would not employ.
How very noble of you. Truly, though, I must commend you for embracing your role as Emperor. You play the part of the determined ruler well. Sometimes even I catch myself believing.
Shoot him again.
A silent agent of death. Now that I think on it, Black Rose may well possess the perfect aspect. Slowly but surely, the deluge of light has worked upon the ether here in the source, and the gas should be most susceptible to its influence. Well, I shall leave you to your own devices. Go forth and bloody the land with your grand and glorious war.
Please shoot him again. There's infinite of him. Let's do it again and again and again.
You do what, precisely?
Need you ask? I will be doing what all Ascians do.
Ass stuff.
I am well aware that your kind exists only to usher in the next calamity. But you seem oblivious to the harm your singular agenda causes to the Empire. You cannot have forgotten the events which followed your mortal demise. Our homeland was plunged into civil war for your failure to name a successor. The edifice you so carefully constructed was but a hair's breadth from collapse.
Are you truly so naive? You thought me oblivious to the consequences of a departure so painstakingly timed?
It was by design?
Well, of course it was. Though I will admit the resulting panic exceeded even my wildest expectations. But how can you be surprised? Throwing the world into disarray was the very purpose for which this nation was, as you say, so carefully constructed. Now, if you have no further questions, I must be on my way. Since we may not meet again in this lifetime, it would be remiss of me not to offer a word or two of gratitude.
Both YouTube and Twitch chat said design at the exact same time. You guys are so cute.
I really must thank you for this surplus of vessels. I can mold any host into my own image, but having bodies tailor-made for me in this fashion is so much less tiresome.
Oh.
You dabbled in Allagan cloning techniques, yes? It certainly is a compelling, not to mention entertaining, field of research.
Gotcha. So he is still immortal. He just clones for fun.
And of all the options available, you chose the founding father on whom to experiment. You have a twisted streak to you, Varus. Like grandsire, like grandson, hey? If events play out as planned, this will become something of a family enterprise. You will be the capstone of this world, I the anchor and shard, and together we will give the lie to this star's fraudulent existence.
Man, I should have time for one more. Let us find out. We should leave now to convene with Eorzea's leaders, and it may be some time before I return to Doma. Akiro, I leave you in command. Ruff. I mean, my lord. I shall assemble an advance party with all haste and join you in Alamigo forthwith. I just received word from Lise. The Alliance has established a base camp near Alamigo's northeastern border. Once we've arrived in the locks, we're to report to a resistance officer stationed in Porta Praetoria, who will point us in the right direction. Let's not keep them waiting. Yeah, I do the dungeon in the steep. Are we talking about the one with the quiz? We did that one a long time ago. If there's another one, then I don't think we've done it yet. In fact, let's take a quick check. See when the next dungeon is. Post Stormblood quest. Yeah, the quest after this one has a dungeon called the Grimlet Dark. Wow. This really is the end of Stormblood. Dang. Where am I going? Porta Praetoria. Where's that? No, seriously, where is that? Is that in Alamigo? Oh, it sure is. Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't expect to be right at the end. You must be the Scion party I was told to look out for. You'll follow me, I'll take you directly to the Alliance headquarters. Yeah. So, like, I'm trying to plan, like, next week. We do the dungeon, and then do we start our Black Mage job quests? I feel like that'd be a good stream. And then I can grind levels of Black Mage up until... I'll grind as many as I can, so that, like, when I play again, I can show you all the things. Like, all the job quests, and we'll just, like, grind through all the job quests as a brief break in story, so we can become our next class for the next expansion. Ah, this is a cool little fort. This is a heck of a party. It's up to you, just here to watch.
You two. Greetings, Lord Hien. Glad you could join us.
Glad to be here. I would have come sooner, were our own defense is not in question, but I am pleased to report that our soldiers are assembling for deployment to Alamigo as we speak.
We're grateful for your support. Thanks to the efforts of our allies, it won't be long before we've established defensive positions on this front as well.
We have some good news too. Alphino has come back to us. As for the bad news...
So, Alphino won't wake up, Gaius van Baelsar is alive and hunting Ascians, and the Empire is planning to poison us all with toxic gas. Does that sound about right?
That's probably the best summary I've heard up to this point.
Ordinarily, any one of those things would have left me in shock. But the way things have been lately, it's all starting to seem pretty normal. Getting back to your report, are we sure this Black Rose is the weapon Maxima was talking about?
It fits the description. And it seems we have Alphino to thank for sparing us an early demonstration of its effectiveness. I have a feeling this won't be the last time his bravery in the Empire will serve us here in Eorzea. The threat of an unknown weapon has had us all on edge. But now that we know what we're dealing with, we can take steps to defend against it.
Feel like it's gonna get weird. For one, like, the Eorzean Alliance doesn't seem to think that the Black Rose is going to be ready. The Empire does think it's going to be ready, but maybe it's ready for something else. Like, I half expect the Empire to, like, just pass over Alamigo entirely and, like, go to, I don't know, Korthus or Gridania. Like, a bunch of crazy people.
As for Gaius, I'm not sure what to think. Am I happy he's alive? Not in the slightest. Am I happy he's hunting Ascians? Aye, I'd have to say I am.
Oh, speaking of Garleans you didn't expect to see, we have a tale of our own, as it happens. When we sent envoys to the Imperial Army to request talks, they returned with the message that Varys Zos Galvus would be attending.
Huh?
The Emperor himself. Well, Varys did sanction the Popularis peace mission. But knowing that an Ascian walks in his son's skin, I do not see how we can trust him or anyone from that nest of vipers.
The Alliance would proceed with negotiations regardless, if only to give ourselves more time to prepare. We do, however, require your cooperation.
Ah, right. Yes. So, As a condition for the talks to go forward, the Empire has requested that a member of the Scions be present. There'll be a representative from each Alliance nation, of course, but I'm afraid we have to ask that you come along too.
Gods, Lise, you know how much I hate politics. But then, what choice do I have? Alphino and the others aren't going to do it. Very well. I shall attend as the Scion's representative.
In case you're wondering why I didn't ask you, the Empire also requested the presence of Eorzea's champion.
I'll be there.
That's settled then. We don't know what Varys means to bring to the table, or why he wants you there, but having you close at hand will make all the difference.
The meeting will take place on the border. Anticipating an early assault, we mean to position the bulk of our forces nearby.
The Alliance leaders should already be on their way. Once you're ready, we can head out and join them.
I don't suppose it's polite to keep the Emperor waiting too long, shall we? Yeah. Nice tent. It's like the North Korean DMZ. Except a little more, you know, Darth Vader-y.
Esteemed representatives of the Eorzean Alliance. On behalf of the Garlean Empire, I thank you for inviting me here today. As this parley was convened at your request, I invite you to speak first.
Very well, Your Radiance. I, Nanimo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, should be pleased to oblige you. As recent events in Alamigo and Doma have made plain, the subjugation and exploitation of neighboring nations is not a sustainable policy. Should this day end in war, you may very well defeat us, but you will never extinguish the people's desire for freedom. Though it may not be in our lifetime, there will be another revolution, another war, and the cycle will continue. Doma has entered into a concord with the nations of Eorzea, a partnership wherein we recognize one another as equals. Garlemald could be afforded similar treatment. You need only set aside your ambitions and join us in paving a path towards peace.
You will not win me over with sophistry, Your Grace. As you know only too well, this alliance lacks the strength to keep the peace within its own borders. Even now, your struggles with the Beastmen continue unabated.
They're pretty baited.
Divided, you sow this fertile soil with the seeds of your differences and reap naught but discord and chaos for your trouble. Eorzea must be united under one leader, one purpose.
Like each of the beast tribes you're talking about is like 10 people. And there's only like one in each land.
With all due respect, Your Radiance, the only thing that you offered the people of Alamigo was fear and hopelessness.
The citizens of Dorma can also attest to the meager arms of Imperial rule. There is no purpose to be found in a life of oppression, each day more uncertain than the last.
Our people are willing to die for their freedom. A great many already have, and countless more will, if we don't put an end to this madness here and now.
We brought order and stability to your lives. This madness and bloodshed is of your own making. You broke the peace, not Garlemald.
Peace. Order. You kill our peoples, despoil our lands, take everything that is ours. And what? You expect us to lick the boot that grinds our faces into the dirt?
I expect you to weigh the costs. To recognize that countless lives have been lost on both sides in pursuit of a greater good, and to not squander all we have achieved in a fit of petulance.
What have you achieved, exactly?
Your Radiance. I fear I can personally attest to the dangers of pursuing one's vision with such righteous fervor. For 1,000 years, the Holy See of Ishgard waged war with dragons. 1,000 years of sacrifice, of sorrow and hate, in which we bathed in the blood of friend and foe alike. Had it gone on any longer, we may well have drowned. Yet we have chosen to raise ourselves out of this bloody spiral, and have since made peace with our former enemy.
So I understand. No doubt the dragons were more receptive to your overtures in the wake of their leader's demise.
Yeah. No, there's another leader we could demise if it would make peace talks go more smoothly.
You speak of peace, yet use war to achieve it. Your father would not have bothered to obscure his intent with honeyed words. He understood that strength is all that matters in the end. Without his clarity of vision, I can but wonder what will become of Ishgard and her people.
I think they're doing pretty chill right now, right? I mean, we haven't heard much of them since Heaven's Ward,
There was
but
a time when Garlemald too lacked a leader of conviction. Weak and unable to wield magic, we were at the mercy of the strong, from whom we sought refuge in the bitter cold of the north. Were it not for the discovery of ceruleum and the subsequent development of magitech, we might never have gained the power to take back that which was rightfully ours.
You speak as if your people were the first to have been driven from their homes. Limsa Lominsa was built by wayward souls in search of a place to call their own. On the shores of Vilbrand we found it, and from those humble beginnings did we grow and flourish. And all without robbing our neighbors of their liberty.
So saith the pirate. Am I to believe that you simply asked the kobolds to yield up their lands and that they were happy to oblige you? That you did not drive them out like rats in the hold of one of the many ships seized by your privateers? I will concede that after centuries of exile, reclamation may be mistaken for invasion. Nevertheless, it is not. And those who till stolen soil have no right to object when cast out in turn.
Your uncompromising nature rivals that of the Ixal. They too lament circumstances which they themselves perpetuate. Were they but to embrace peace, we would welcome them with open arms. Indeed, some few have done just that, and now receive of the Twelve's Wood's bounty. Would that your people might learn from their example.
You dare compare us to the Birdmen? You who thought to invoke the 12 and threaten all of creation?
Okay, so he's happy to like throw kobolds under the buses. Like, man, don't you also treat these beastmen as like as scum? And then he just uses beastmen like however is convenient for him at the time. Oh, he's compare him to the horse people. I'm trying to think of what the most insulting beast tribe is to compare him to, like the Namazu? Catfish?
I came here in the hope of finding some speck of common ground, but I see now these discussions will accomplish nothing. Despite what you people may believe, I am not wont to choose the sword over the olive branch. 'Tis but a pity men are loath to accept one without first being shown the other.
Wait! I beg you. This meeting was supposed to be a chance to find a way forward together, not to bemoan the missteps which brought us here. Please. If you truly consider violence a last resort, there must be a way we can come to an agreement.
As Mistress Alisaie says, we did not come here to bicker over the past, but to discuss how we might strive towards a brighter future. Emperor Varys, may I suggest a short recess, that all present might compose themselves prior to beginning anew?
Very well. I pray this intermission will suffice to move these talks in a more constructive direction.
Good morning, daughter. Are you ready to get ready for school? Okay. Very well, recess it is. Shall be on the swing set.
What?
We. Such elation. This was exactly my intent. Whew. This is really not my forte. After his Radiance's little performance, it was all I could do not to swear at him. I honestly don't know how I ended up playing the mediator. Just asked myself what Alphina would have done and tried my best to do the same, and by some miracle, it worked. But there really is no common ground to be found with that man, nor do I think he looked for any. So the question becomes, what did he come here to do? Because you may be certain it wasn't to make peace. Whatever it is, I can't make it out. Not yet, at least. Do have a little time, but we do have a little time before the parlay is due to reconvene. So why not try consulting our illustrious leaders? Mayhap they have some insight to share. I'll say one thing, for this Varus. He is well versed in Eorzean history. His interest in our affairs is that of a beast in its prey. The conqueror would know his enemies. All should know their enemies, yet there is much and more we do not know of the Empire. It's up to us to change that, here and now. Ha! You would have me ask the Emperor himself. Well, mayhap there is some wisdom in that. We can skirt the storm of his displeasure, we may yet to come to our answers, even if it does mean sailing close to the wind. This parley was never like to bring peace, but I had hoped to learn something of Emperor Varus's relationship with the Asians. As had we all. Yet, if he is in league with them, he is not like to volunteer the fact, and if he is not, how much weaker would his position seem for their presence? If we were to broach that particular subject, we will need to be subtle. Would that I knew more of the man. You would indulge me, Lord Hien. You received an imperial education, did you not? Is it true that the Emperor's will is considered absolute? There's no higher authority in all of Garlemald, nor else in the heavens. Come to that, veneration of the gods is forbidden. The only worship permitted being that of his radiance's own person. Neat. Yeah, and no, he's a boy. I shall disdain from the his hypocrisy, even as they denigrate the idea of having faith. They revere their leader with a fervor others reserve for the divine. 'Tis a flaw common to much of the doctrine they fed us. Logical on the surface, perhaps, but contradictory upon closer examination. I wonder if a discussion of the various discrepancies might prompt Varus to reveal something. I'm wondering if they worship him as like a divine leader, is that going to lead to summoning an icon of him? Is that the dungeon we're about to do next episode? 12 have mercy, but for Alisaie's timely interjection, we might have come to blows at the negotiating table. Not that Emperor Varus left us many great opportunities. Is unconditional surrender all he will accept, do you think? Ere he arrived, I'd have said yes, but having heard him speak, I cannot help but think he came with some other end in mind. Exactly. He's building up to something, I know it. How then should we approach the rest of the parley? Have you anything to say, Warrior of Light? Invite Varus to explain himself, I guess. You believe he is more apt to reveal the truth if we put him at his ease? Mayhap you're right. Thank you, old. Spoken with everyone, then. Good. Now that all remains is to await the pleasure of the Emperor, and hope we fare better at the second attempt.
Now then, who would have the floor?
Before we resume, I wish to offer you an apology. After you graciously accepted our invitation to discuss an armistice, we have done naught but rebuke you at every opportunity. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply sorry for our discourtesy.
I'll admit your familiarity with our affairs surprised me, and served to remind me how little I know of yours.
I think all here can understand the desire to reclaim one's homeland. But why expand further? That is my question.
If I may, the answer can be found in the Imperial doctrine they took great pains to impart to my people. Recognizing the threat icons posed to the world, Solus Zos Galvus decreed that they were to be eradicated. To this end, he began a campaign to unite all lands under the Garlean banner. Or so we were taught. Yet the Emperor only reached the burn, the Baron said to have been laid waste by icons, after conquering all the lands that lay between. What is more, I am quite certain the practice of summoning was not nearly so widespread in the days before the Empire's founding.
When you put it like that, it all starts to sound like an excuse, doesn't it? But to distract from what? Why are you really waging this war?
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer and at last accept the righteousness of our cause. My goal is this: to return the world to the way it once was, the way it was always meant to be. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more. No longer will we suffer from the dissension born of our differences. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
What in Rulga's name are you talking about?
I am talking about the origins of this star, of the source and its 13 reflections. At the instant of the great sundering, 'twas not only the world that was shattered, but mankind itself. Thus were we divided into myriad races, each with its own unique imperfections. That is why man looks upon his neighbor and feels fear and hatred, why he wages war, why he kills his brother. You all in your own way have proven as much today. The peace you seek is but a fleeting solution to a fundamental problem. One which calls for more drastic measures. To bring about everlasting peace, our worlds must be rejoined. That is the goal the Empire would see realized. The glorious future unto which we shall one day shepherd mankind.
A rejoining of worlds.
I have heard this tale of the Source and its reflections before.
Are these not the self-same desires as the Ascians?
Emperor Varys, do not trust in their words. They will lead you to your doom. My father thought to use them, but in the end he succumbed to their temptations. He embraced summoning like so many other pawns before him. Do not tell us you mean to do the same.
To be a pawn, free from the burden of choice, would be a blessing. But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Garlean Empire was built by the hand of an Ascian.
What?
Yes. My grandsire, the former Emperor, is of their number. And who better to build an empire capable of bringing about the calamitous change we desire?
Would you condemn me for this alliance? For bowing to the will of these shadowy masters when the prize is true and lasting peace?
Your prize is a lie. Your master's demons.
I come not to conquer, but to liberate. To free man from the prison of divergence. Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard. An army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs. We would be the masters of our own fate. I bid you join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one left.
Do you truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
It is unthinkable, unconscionable.
And what is the alternative? To be as cattle waiting for slaughter? I would have us work together that we might take fate into our own hands.
Into your hands, perhaps. But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity, you obliterate a star and every soul that dwells on it.
To the Ascians, we are all but tiny, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. We cannot hope to oppose them until we have been made whole once more.
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation, even yours, Emperor Varys, is made whole through the combination of these imperfections, the strengths of one compensating for the weaknesses of another.
Hey kids, super late. Can you make yourself breakfast?
Sure.
Well, thank you.
Bye.
You won't get breakfast if you do that. Car bar? Okay.
While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others, fostering community and cooperation. That the protector of an empire should not only reject these fundamental truths, but seek to change them at so dear a cost to life is indefensible. Such a man is not fit to govern.
And you, warrior of light, would you refuse me as well?
Nah, sounds great. Let's do it. We can defeat the Ascians as we are.
It would seem the Alliance is of one mind on this matter.
You Eorzeans never cease to disappoint me. Though I suppose I have only myself to blame for expecting more from savages. This discussion is at an end. I bid you make ready for our next meeting. It will not be at the negotiating table.
Supposed to take the kids to school like 25 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You ready for more cutscenes?
Hey.
I came back to find Doma's advance party ready and waiting for battle. So, as worrying as our little chat with the Emperor was, it did buy enough time for at least some of our allies to arrive. Are you wearing shoes and socks, buddy?
Yeah.
Make sure your sister is too. Oh, hey, we're done. Woo! Alright, join us next week for the war with the Empire. And then, I imagine we start our Black Mage quests. It's gonna be an interesting day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day. I gotta get these kids to school. Please stick around and I'll find somebody to raid.
Bye.
Say bye, kids.
Bye.
Wow. You don't want to, like, hurt their ears. Tinde says, bye, old man Sugarheart.
Well, you always just tell us to yell.
Well, I tell you to yell, like, but that was kind of more of a shriek, right? Alright.
I shriek.
Don't shriek at me, jeez.
Me?
I'm gonna raid... I'm gonna raid... Oh, I want to raid somebody. Everybody's playing inappropriate games. Sorry, I can raid...
Mutagen.
Yeah, raid Goblet Flight, who's playing Indiana Jones in the Great Circle.
What on that?
You all seem to appreciate a good story. This was a really good game. Bye, everybody.